Okay, welcome back. It's what is it? Our fourth podcast now.
Fourth
I can't
fifth,
count.
I don't know. I think it's fourth.
Who cares anymore? Numbers don't matter.
It's not like we're getting views anyway.
Neither of us were good at math. Joe, how you been?
Oh man, it's been a good week, man. I can't complain. Work's been going really well, and by that I mean I didn't throw anybody across in the ERs. So, I mean that's a good thing, right?
It's weird because for you, I figured that would be not well.
Look, there's a lot of things. I guess it's well for everybody else. Me, yeah, sometimes I miss the chaoticness. But, for the record, yeah, I do miss it. It wasn't the best week for me. But for other people, it was a really good week. Like our
Everybody
coworker.
felt safe for once.
I'll say, I am safety. Have you seen my safety reports?
My middle name is Safety and Security. And no, I haven't seen your reports. You never do them.
There's been plenty of safety briefings about me, Anthony. So yeah, I scream safety.
Mostly, why is he still working here?
Oh, I'm good at what I do, all right? I didn't say I was good at paperwork and all that. But the week's been good. Family life is good. I don't really do too much anymore. Now that COVID killed my gym and me, I'm dying inside. Just been trying to do little at work or at home fitness things. Did them at work. But apparently you can't just pick people up and squat them at work because that's weird. But
yeah, I think that would be totally normal.
Yeah, that was another one of those safety briefings they keep telling us about.
Joe, you can't fireman carry the patients.
I wish that wasn't a real thing.
That's a thing he was actually told.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, my week's been okay, I suppose. I haven't rammed my head into the wall too hard. I bought some new parts for my computer and then promptly realized I need more parts for my computer.
It's an
so
addiction.
yeah, I spent more money than I intended to, and I spent more stress than I intended to just putting a fucking part in my computer. Here we are. And I mean, with that, news, it was a part that should help me record like video game footage and stuff. So I might dabble a little bit in some like live streaming or YouTube, stuff like that. Joe and I may even do something special up on the horizon, so we'll see where we go from there.
Oh, we're going to play games, and it's probably not going to be games that I want to play, but Anthony's going to make me do it anyway for the sheer enjoyment of you people.
Joe's pain is everyone else's enjoyment.
I've heard that way too much in my life. Way too much in my life.
It's just a fact of nature.
Well, Anthony ever begrudgingly has let me take over the podcast today. So we're going to reverse roles here. He usually teaches me about some weeb /nerd / I don't know, kid that never gets laid type stuff.
Hell yeah.
And this week, I'm going to teach him about everything organized crime. Like from Mafia to cartels, a little bit of, we're going to throw in a little bit of biker gangs too. And
will it get me laid?
Anthony, I don't know how to tell you this, but I don't know what will get you laid. Because God knows these posters aren't going to do it. You can't bring a girl in the room and be like, hey, baby, so what'd you think of that girl over there in that hat?
No matter how many books and comics I buy, none of them have ever taught me how to fuck.
No, they're not. And they're not going to teach you how to get women unless that woman has a tentacle or something. Yeah, I just discovered what that was a couple of days ago.
Well, that's actually exactly what I'm looking for.
Stay out of the Shut Aquarium. You're not welcome back there anymore. That's not how it goes.
Lisa the squid misses me, Joe.
She inked you twice. She doesn't want it, Anthony.
She inked twice, Joe. That means she's into it.
Oh, no. It's not hentai if they're full squid. So I'm going to be teaching you all today about a little bit of things that I hold dearly to my heart. Organized crime.
Welcome to school. My name's Joe. I'm going to learn you today.
I'm going to learn you real fucking good if you don't shut up, Anthony.
You're going to be learned.
I'm going to learn you real good, boy. All right, so let me take it away here. First off, it's not called the Mafia. That was a completely coined term by the media.
A Mafia and Mafia? Us Mafia?
Just the Mafia as a general term, Anthony, is not what they go by. It's mostly known as La Costa Nostra. Do you know what La Costa Nostra means?
That is definitely a term I've heard, but no.
It means this thing of ours. Okay.
No.
Which is that's kind of cool, right?
Is that like Casablanca?
No, that just means White House, Anthony. White House.
Who wouldn't want a White House?
I got so many jokes, but I'm going to keep them to myself, all right? Because we don't do politics on this show.
I already said that.
We don't do
politics. But
it's true. So, sorry, I'm drinking an energy drink because I'm just dragging ass today. I didn't bring any notes.
Dragon ass would also be a thing I'm after. Like Donkey from Shrek.
I don't know where to go with that one. I really don't. But yeah, so La Costa Nostra, more importantly, the Chicago outfit, which was so much better than New York because Chicago's better than New York in every way, shape, and form. Fuck you, New York. Fight me. The Chicago outfit was like everything from Al Capone to Tony Accardo, all the way. I mean, you have loose affiliations with Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel out in Vegas. They were formed, I want to say the 1920s, really. It really kind of started on. It didn't start under Al Capone, but it really caught the footing under Al Capone because the government yet again was like, so I'm going to take these things away from you. All right, you guys can't have any more booze anymore, and you're all good, upstanding citizens, and you would never ever do anything that the law told you couldn't do, right?
No, of course not.
Yeah, exactly, because it's the government. They never fuck up. They never fail, Anthony. And
God bless America.
Yeah, America. And so that gave rise to bootleggers and Al Capone. And one of the craziest wars that the mob has ever seen, that La Costa Nostra has ever seen, you had Al Capone on the south side and Bugs Moran on the north side. You had the Italians versus the Irish. All right. Now, it's not a soccer game. That's turf war. All right. And they were bitter rivals. Al Capone, he actually was from New York. I know, that sucks, right? He left because that city sucks. By the way, I'm going to shit all over New York during this episode.
Okay, I have no qualms.
He left New York, came here under, I can't think of his name right offhand, but he was trained under a local mobster out here, and one of his first jobs was a bouncer, believe it or not.
Who, Capone?
Yeah, Capone was a bouncer.
Okay, that makes sense.
That led into his nickname, Scarface.
Is that how he got it?
Yeah, do not call him Scarface, though.
Well, that'd be hard to do. He's kind of dead.
He's not dead to me, Anthony. You shut your dirty mouth, all right?
See, I always heard that the Scarface tale came from he was like hitting on some dame in a bar.
Yes, but he was actually the bouncer at the time when he was hitting on this dame, and her boyfriend walked up, they got into it, dude drew a knife and cut his face.
Oh.
He was not proud of that. Actually, he used to wear a little bit of makeup to try to cover up the scar, believe it or not.
Gay.
Really? Already. All right.
Hey, Joe, if you're going to be the one teaching me, I have to make the off-color jokes, okay?
So, Al Capone raised the dominance about the 1920s, not the 1940s. That's a whole nother spiel. But the 1920s, the heyday. I mean, the 1920s was a beautiful time.
Yeah, roaring
except
20s.
For unlike these roaring 20s that it's currently starting out to be.
It's a little difficult.
I hate this place so much.
Nobody's partying in the streets yet.
Yeah, not yet. Give that time. But yeah, Capone took over a lot of Southside bootlegging. And he was actually really good at it. For a kid that never graduated high school or middle school at that, he dropped out when he was like 13 because him and a teacher got into a fist fight. All right? I don't know who's at fault him or the teacher. Like, yeah, you got into a fight with a 14-year-old kid, but like...
You never really win.
Also, you got into a fight with a 14-year-old kid. So he dropped out of school. And
which isn't really that weird for the 20s, right?
No, it actually isn't.
Yeah.
There was not a high graduation rate. I mean, not like there is now, or... Well, let's be real here. There probably isn't now either. Have you met the kids these days? They're all a little off anyway. I'm sorry. For our younger listeners, I apologize and didn't mean that. I take that back. No, I But
He's a very good liar.
he's a very good liar. Al Capone was actually really good with numbers. He was really good with the numbers racket, and so he got into bootlegging, and is what they would do. They would bring in booze from all over. I mean, I'm talking from Canada, from other states. Like at one time, they were making bathtub gin, Anthony. Now that made a whole bunch of people go blind, and like they got horrible kidney failure and shit like that. So I wouldn't suggest ever making bathtub. Bathtub was bathtub.
You said gin.
I said gin. Either way, anything from a bathtub you probably shouldn't drink, Anthony.
That's debatable. There are gamer girls that sell their own bathtub water, Joe, and I'm looking to drink.
Jesus, wow! I don't know if that just got dark or weird. That
I don't know if it's. I mean, maybe it's dark.
I mean,
they're selling it. If anything,
I mean, if they're look, I'm all for a hustle.
I'm just stimulating the economy. A comedy.
I think they're stimulating something else there too, buddy.
Everything's stimulated.
Oh no! Oh, keep it under the desk and your hands above it. Thank you, and I appreciate it. But yeah, they sold everything. Capone was in all kind of markets, from bootlegging to prostitution. He had his own casinos.
He was a prostitute?
No, he managed prostitutes. I wouldn't call him a pimp because pimp is an ugly term. I would just say like,
hey sweetie, my name's
sexual connoisseur.
My stage name's Scarface. I'm gonna be riding you tonight.
No, I just imagine a lap dance from Capone.
He's got like tassels on his nips.
Oh, no. I mean, Capone was a fairly big guy. He was about my height at 5'10", but he was like 245 and just built like a tank. Like, he was a very big guy.
I wish I could be like that.
I mean, you could if you would just stop being a weeb and come in and lift with me sometime.
I mean, I could do that, yeah.
You could totally do that. We can make you a monster. Also, what's your thoughts on steroids?
Steroids would be nice.
Oh, well, it didn't go the way I thought it would. But anyway, yeah, Capone was a bigger dude, and he is actually well known for his boxing skills. Like, he didn't actually used to box, but he used to train, which I think is awesome because, you know, given my background.
Yeah, you didn't used to wrestle either. You just trained.
Wait, what?
What I did for money,
Anthony.
I'm sorry.
What I did for money, Anthony, does not involve you.
Wait, what do you call what you did? Is that mixed martial arts?
Yeah, that's mixed martial arts. That's MMA.
So you artsed.
I artsed all over the place.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, like, I have lawsuits pending because I artsed so hard. I'm sorry. So, like I said, he was a boxer back in the day. He was a big dude. And he took over rather... He was very charismatic, too. Like, you could not like this guy. Like,
you could not like this guy.
You could not... Look here. All right, this is my show. Shut up. This is my time now, Anthony. Don't you dare correct me.
Joe's not an English major, just an organized crime major.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I'll take that title. And Capone was very charismatic. Like, he was one of those guys like... Yeah, so he did a little bit of bootlegging, but also he had his own soup kitchen.
Yeah,
so like
I've heard of that.
It balanced out, right? I mean, to a normal person, it would balance out, right? What's your thoughts on that, Anthony?
In a very chaotic way, I suppose. I mean, if we're talking about like a weighted scale, and you're just putting like, you know, sins on one scale and good deeds on the other, and you're like, see, it's pretty balanced. And, you know, obviously the angels...
How I like to live my life.
St. Peter's looking at that scale like, that's a lot of sin, though.
That's why I'm trying not to die, because me and St. Peter don't need to have that conversation. All right?
I'll just bring St. Peter beer.
Like, all I'm saying is I'm going to live forever or die trying, Anthony.
Hell yeah.
All right? That's my motto. Live forever or die trying.
I'm also in the market to live forever.
Well, I got some things in my trunk if you want to go check it out.
Oh, those just make you feel like living forever.
Oh, whatever. A little bit of cocaine never killed anybody. You're fine. Speaking of cocaine, they were also into the narcotics business. Now, it wasn't exactly cocaine back then. That was actually called medicine still. They were in,
yeah, that's true.
Chicago had a lot of opioids going through its veins. All puns intended back in the 1920s. Now, Capone didn't deal a lot in the drug trade. His men did, but he really didn't. He stayed mostly on the good vices like prostitution and gambling.
He like used though, right? That was the part of the movie where he like, fucking stuck his face in the snow, and then afterwards those guys came in. He's like, "Say hello to my little friend."
I'm pretty sure that's the other Scarface you're talking about.
Oh, isn't that based on him?
No, that is not based on him. That is based on I can't think of his name right offhand. I want to say Pablo Escobar, but that's not it. It's somebody else, but I can't think of his name.
That accent's not very like Al Capone.
Oh, no, God no. That is more like I don't know.
What generation Italian was Capone?
Capone was actually he was first generation American, if that makes any sense.
Oh, okay. So they just
his parents came over on the boat.
Yeah, they came across the pond.
Yeah, they came across the pond. He was born around Little Italy section in New York, and he moved to Chicago because he got into it with some mobsters and street gangs out there, and his mom was like, she basically like Fresh Princed his ass, like, hey, you're doing some things out here,
moving with your auntie and uncle to Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna ship you out there. That can't go wrong. Spoiler alert: it went horribly freaking wrong.
Yeah, Chicago was never the same.
Don't ever send your kids to Chicago ever. It's not gonna make them any good. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Why don't you stay in West Philadelphia?
Yeah, where you were born and raised.
On the playground. Sorry,
I started singing that too.
Right. At least we both know it.
At least we do. And yeah, when he came to Chicago, like he rose to prominence. He still has one of my favorite quotes ever. Al Capone once said, "You can get a great way with a smile, but you can get even further with a smile and a gun."
All right.
And
nice.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's basically what I call the plata las plomos presence. Basically, is what that is. It's Latin for silver or lead. Accept my bribe, or I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Nice.
That was basically Capone's
tactic. With Lincoln, and he said, "Walk hard and carry a big stick."
I'm pretty sure Lincoln said that.
Was it Lincoln or was it Teddy?
That might have been Washington.
That wasn't Washington.
No,
it was Lincoln or Teddy.
It was definitely Teddy. That sounds like a Teddy Roosevelt quote. Which he was a man among men.
He was a badass.
Also, he fought he was a wrestler. He was a boxer. He hunted bears and shit. I wouldn't be surprised if he boxed a bear. That's a president I'd vote for. That's a good guy, man.
He boxed a bear just to show the USSR what's for.
Exactly. You gotta show them Russians. I don't even think the Russians were around in his time, or they weren't Russianing at that time. But
yeah, they were off. They were on their off Russian hours.
They're on the off Russian hours. So, Al Capone had a whole bunch of guys around him. That's what he did. He was entourage before they made a stupid little show about it. And he was actually a really good tactician. There's a reason why no one could kill this guy. He was always 2 steps ahead. And he had one of the first armored cars for civilians. He had a custom-made car that had, half-inch to inch plated steel on the side of the doors. And it was bulletproof windows. I don't know what the bulletproof windows are made out of. Maybe they had plexiglass back then. Or they just stacked up.
Yeah,
I don't know. They put a bunch of Jack Daniels bottles on the side.
What proof bullets we talking here? We're talking
I mean,
20. We're talking.
Let me put it this
40
way.
proof bullets.
40 proof bullets. I had a couple of 80 proof bullets last night. All right.
I think they call them shots, Joe.
Whatever, bullets, shots.
But
one of them makes me sound like an alcoholic. All right, I'm gonna go with bullets. I got hit with a couple bullets last night. It sounds better than take a shot. Actually, little side note: do you know where the term "shot" comes from?
Probably the U.S.
You're killing me, Smalls. You are killing me, Smalls.
The short answer is no. The long answer is I'm a bastard.
You're right on both accounts. All right, so it came from the old West days. When the ranch hands would go into a saloon, they didn't always have a lot of money because, they're ranch hands,
Yeah.
So what they would do, a shot of whiskey cost about as much as a .45 bullet. So they take a bullet out their gun, put it on the table, and they'll pay for a shot of whiskey because back then, bullets were a commodity. You're not getting a whole bunch of them pressed out thousands of times.
In some cases, they were probably worth more than money.
They were worth more than alcohol, and because you can distill hundreds of gallons of alcohol rather easily. You can't make thousands of bullets type thing. So yeah, that's where the term shot come from. So let me get a shot of whiskey, or just lay the bullet down, and you get a shot of whiskey. I think we should still do that. But apparently, if you do that in a bar nowadays, they will ask you to leave and authorities will be called. I think that's a double standard and that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm just honoring history. I'm not going to shoot up the bar.
He put the bullet on the table. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and then the bartender hit me in the face because apparently it's some kind of duel. We're friends now. It's fine.
Welcome to Liquors 101, the one topic Joe could teach me things on.
Oh, I could teach you so many different things about liquor. Actually, Al Capone had a favorite liquor. Rye whiskey. That was his go-to.
That sounds familiar. Okay.
Rye whiskey. It's a little bit of a cleaner whiskey.
Okay.
I like it. It's a little bit sweeter. Right? You figure Al Capone would drink like, I don't know, like...
something that puts hair on your chest.
I don't know, like if black coffee and whiskey had a baby.
Right.
Like, it's very oaky black coffee. Like, that's what I would think Capone drank. But no, he's a fan of old fashions.
Okay.
By the way, that's not a hand job. If anyone, Urban Dictionary is that. It's not a hand job. It's an actual drink. Old fashions. And he would just drink straight whiskey. Which, he drank the rye whiskey. It has been a very long day, Anthony. He didn't really drink a lot, though. Surprisingly, Capone never drank a lot. But if you're running a criminal organization, you probably shouldn't show up to the bar like, hey, I'm going to get like 6 drinks. And
I want to get fucked up.
And the cop's sitting there and he's like, hey, fucking looking at it, I'll kill you too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a tactician's the first rule in the book of tacticians is don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk, especially in public, all right? Let's just say I'm not the best tactician in the world, Anthony.
No.
All right.
I mean, nobody had to say it.
But if anything, Capone had a vice. It was women. It was women. Like flocks of women. Like, he often frequented his own brothels. Like, and he would definitely tip the ladies a lot. And he was actually...
I mean, I would be pretty upset if my boss showed up and didn't tip me a lot.
If our boss showed up and tipped me, I don't know what I would do.
Well, all right. I mean, our boss now probably wouldn't tip us.
No, he wouldn't.
But if we were to... I mean...
He's just going to leave, like, working overtime next week, whore, and he's just going to leave.
I was going to say, if our boss came in and had sex with us, I would expect him to tip us.
I mean...
That's just
still
fair.
I don't think he would. I think he'd be like, hey, don't come in Monday. You're fired. Like, just roll that. Like, oh, all right. That's all you wanted out of me. That's fine. I understand. I'm an attractive male. All right. Everybody wants a piece of this
Everybody
pie.
uses Joe.
Everybody does use Joe. They never think about my feelings, Anthony.
Nobody ever wants to cuddle Joe.
No one ever wants to cuddle. I offered you earlier, but you were like, let's just start the podcast and you need to leave.
I yelled at you for offering me an old fashioned, and then you told me it wasn't a hand job.
It's not a hand job.
Yeah, I still don't believe you.
One of these times I'll have to bring my liquor stuff over here and make you a couple of drinks.
Yeah, you're not allowed to lick me either.
So that's the podcast, and I'm leaving.
Good night, everybody.
So, Al Capone was notorious as being what they call a Teflon Don. Every time someone would throw something at him.
Is that a dessert?
No, don't eat Teflon. That's the stuff that they coat pans with so it doesn't stick. Even though I think it should be like a drink. Like, you could make a really good Teflon Don.
Teflon sounds... So,
I think
Al
that's
Capone,
truffle or souffle you're talking.
He was, like, coated in Teflon?
Yeah. I mean... To the law, yes, he was coated with Teflon because every time they were like, "We got this motherfucker," and
they tried to burn him, but he was anti-stick.
Yes, in a way. The term Teflon Don means when they try to hit him with a lawsuit, they try to hit him with charges. All of a sudden, witnesses came up missing, or they couldn't find the books that they needed to get him on. They couldn't get him on shit. Okay. Like, the only thing they ever got him on was tax evasion. Like, this man committed the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Oh, sorry, he didn't. He was in Florida at the time, and somehow, like, that gets him off.
Well, yeah, well...
I mean, this is before the RICO Act, so, I mean, yes, it did get off. I mean, look, man.
It's a pretty good alibi. You can't commit a massacre if you're not there.
I've been trying to tell people this for years, but that court case is still pending, all right? And it wasn't a massacre. Well, By my definition, it wasn't a massacre.
It wasn't a massacre. It was a manicure.
It was a manicure.
Manicure.
It was very manly. I did it with an axe.
Joe just took care of everyone's nails that day. But
I did. It was delightful.
You typo one word and suddenly it's a court case.
I typo one word. Actually, that's another thing. Capone was actually very well kept. Everybody said that, he dressed to the nines all the time, like in great fitting suits. Yeah. Like he took care of his nails, he took care of his hair. Like,
really?
They said he smelled good.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if I had that much money, I would wear suits.
I would wear. I don't know if I'd ever wear suits if I had that much money, because fuck suits, dude. Like,
I would be 2 states: suit or underwear, just at all times. But I'm talking like Roman style underwear, like cloth.
All right, like a toga type,
like a decadence, like a hedonism kind of thing.
Okay, all right.
Like I'm just like, I love my body, man. I'm just out here.
That makes one of us. Please keep your shirt on. Thank you.
The reason I say that, have fun with this tangent. There's a game called Street Fighter, and one of my favorite characters is named Urian, and the dude's design influence is like Greek or Roman kind of influence. This dude has a ton of money. He's a fucking like brilliant scientist, and he loves suits. And he loves fighting in his undies. That's just a thing he does. So commonly in the games, he's either seen in a very nice suit, right? But in the original game he was introduced in, he would always rip the suit off before he started fighting. And he was just in this like Roman style underwear.
That's interesting. And I think I ran into some drunks at the bar that tried to do the same thing.
They always rip their clothes off when they get in a fight.
It's just like, wow, you took your pants off. How do you think this is going to be tactically an advantage, sir?
You're shocked. You're stunned.
I mean, no.
Gets a cheap shot.
At this point, no, I'm not. I'm just like,
I've seen it too many times.
Well, now I'm gonna hit this guy while he's taking off his pants.
All right. Well, not in the Street Fighter universe. You're used to seeing people in like karate gi or something like that. This guy just strips
You're trying to get real fucked up today, Anthony.
But in Street Fighter 5,
that karate fucking word again.
In Street Fighter 5, you have to input a button combo to start the battle in your underwear as Urian. Why they made it that and not just a separate skin you select, I don't know. But every time I would be underwear Urian because...
I mean, that would be cool. Like, all right, so check this out. What if they took a video game like Grand Theft Auto, but it was like 1920s, and you got to pick either like Bugs Moran or Al Capone, and like you had to rise your mob up, kind of like the Mafia video games, but like better because they suck.
Right. Like, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's a thing, but
it is. But like,
you mean like good,
like turf wars, and you have to like do certain things and make deals with people, and like you had to bribe the cops, stuff like that. I would play the hell out of that game. That game super sounds interesting, and just for you and you weebs, throw in the Yakuza. Maybe you can.
Yeah, they can just come on over.
Or the triads or whatever.
The triads.
Yeah, it's a deep cut. That's a Chinese mafia. The triads, like just something like that, or whatever the Koreans have, K-pop mafia or whatever it is.
That would be what I'm in for. Let's get us a K-pop mafia.
Of course you are.
Just surrounded by idol boys.
Oh
like
God.
they got Tommy guns.
Do you actually know what the nickname for Tommy Gun is?
I thought it was Tommy Gun. Is it?
Well, I mean that is one of the nicknames, yes, because it's the Thompson submachine gun.
Okay, yeah. Is it Tom?
It's not anything where Tom, like Al Capone, kind of helped coin the phrase. Well, Chicago as the city coined the phrase.
It's a nail gun.
No, it's not going to do your nails, man.
That's not what I meant.
You're really on the manicure thing.
Apparently I am. That's not what I meant.
No, not that nail gun either. It's the Chicago typewriter.
Oh, the Chicago typewriter.
It's the Chicago typewriter, because, when it off, it kind of... It sounds like a typewriter.
Sounds like a typewriter, yeah.
Like, but the thing is, people are so afraid of the Chicago typewriter, but if you really look at it, if you're more than like 50 yards away, you're probably not going to be... You're not going to be getting hit that much on account of it's only shooting 45 caliber pistol rounds. And it's shooting them, and you got so much muzzle rise, like...
There's no accuracy.
There is no... It is literally... quantity or quality. No, it would be quantity over quality.
This is one of those guns where like you better have the barrel up their asshole.
Oh yeah, hard,
like the sawed-off shotgun.
Like, hey, don't you
I'm not talking shit.
don't talk shit on Nubs, bro. Nubs is my
Sawed-off
boy.
shotguns are fucking cool.
They are the shit. Also,
I'm not like you have one.
there were mobsters. Look, all right, the law doesn't need to know things. All right, there's certain modifications that the ATF keeps calling me about. Like,
Technically not legal.
Yeah, legal is a, it's kind of a
Relative
gray area. But
that's my right to bear arms.
I got bear arms. Look at these things. I'm very hairy. But you spoke a couple episodes ago about a toilet gun. That's kind of a real thing. All right.
Did I? I don't remember that.
You said something about a toilet gun a couple episodes ago.
Oh, right. When I implied that you pulled a gun out of your toilet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the toilet. Just like the old Godfather movie.
Yeah, not anything stupid like being in the toilet. Obviously, it was behind the toilet.
No, why would you put a gun in the toilet? There's gunpowder in it. It's not. Don't ever own firearms, Anthony. All right, no one. It's just I hate you so much.
I want a revolver.
I know you want a revolver, and that's why I'm not talking to you about this
gun.
Anymore.
Is the best gun.
No, it is not. It is not a good gun.
I want to learn how to gun spin.
Of course you would. How about we just play Russian roulette? You go first, and all the chambers are loaded.
Nice.
That sounds like a win for me. Anyway, on that topic, mobsters made two guns really famous. Okay, not so much Al Capone, but every mobster ever. Obviously, the Chicago typewriter, the Thompson submachine gun, and you had the Saturday Night Special, the .38 snub-nose revolver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that thing, God, it went off so loud. But it's still just a small round. 38 is not a big round. But, like, back in the day, the mobsters, they were just cold-blooded people. You'd be sitting there like, yeah, we're going to go out to a steakhouse tonight. I'm going to have me some shrimp Alfredo with a side of steak. I'm going to go surf and turf. And next thing you know, I'm getting my hair cut or something. Dudes just walk in with, dudes just walk in and they're like, hey man, how's it going? Pop, 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 like 4 or 5 times with that loud ass gun. I don't think mobsters had that good a hearing because I fired a 38 snub-nose before, eventually. And it'll echo a lot. Al Capone was never gunned down. He died of syphilis.
Yes.
He died of syphilis. When he was...
It's going back to he frequented his brothels.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to catch something, dude. Someone needs to tell Capone, like, STDs aren't Pokemon. You don't need to catch them all. Right?
There was this game I played.
This
is always
I'm curious
where my
to see where this
go.
Is leading.
It's called Darkest Dungeon. And your characters have a stress mechanic they have to deal with. When they go into the different locations in Darkest Dungeon, they're constantly encountering like fucking fearsome, creepy monsters and, terrifying shit. So they're getting stressed out. They can get to the point where they go crazy because of how stressed they are. So when they come back home to the hamlet, you have to take care of their stress before you send them out again, unless you want to fuck up and lose, because that's how you lose if you want to lose.
Okay.
And in the hamlet, you have a bar, and in the bar there are prostitutes. So you can send
just
your
like
heroes,
every other bar,
just like every other bar, and you can have your heroes, spend a night with some prostitutes to lower their stress.
Well,
but there's a downside. They may walk out with an STD.
Look, it's a gamble we've all taken at some point.
They also may walk out with it's a quirk. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called love interest. And it's they believe that the person in the brothel has fallen in love with them. So now they will only go to the brothel to relieve stress, which is a fun one. But yeah, they can get fucking like not herpes. What was it?
Syphilis?
Chlamydia.
Gonorrhea.
Syphilis. Whatever.
One of the ones that
was it chlamydia or syphilis? Both lower your stats, which I'm sure is pretty close
like they
to
lower your stats in real life.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely going to lower my stats. But yeah, he died of syphilis. The last few years he lived, he was incarcerated over in Pennsylvania State Federal Prison or something like that. I forgot the name of the prison, but it was over in Pennsylvania.
It's not Pennhurst, is it? What's
no,
Pennhurst?
Pennhurst Asylum. That's
right. That's an asylum. I was going to say, that's not right.
Yeah, that was a horrible asylum. You do the history on that. But also done the history on that. And
I've done a little bit, but not on
Penhurst. It
Pennhurst.
definitely gets fucking nuts, dude.
Asylums are a ton of fucked up.
Yeah, Eastern State Penitentiary. That's where he was locked up.
Okay.
In his later years, he apparently had the mindset of a 10-year-old. And they actually said he would see ghosts of the man, ghosts. And I'm paraphrasing about this, obviously.
Yeah.
Because God knows what it was with a syphilis-ridden brain. He would see the ghosts of the guys he actually killed in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The St. Patrick's Day Massacre is what happened to me last St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I can never go back to that bar. Let's just put it that way and leave it there.
Yeah, you get a manicure at a bar and you don't ever
Look,
want to go back.
Look, I gotta be pretty, and you gotta look your best on St. Patrick's Day. They were green, shiny nails.
Those beautiful
I'll never
green
have them
nails.
again. You got to, man. They match my green beer. And the beads I did horrible, dirty things in the parking lot for. What? But yeah, he died 1940 or 42 or 44. I can't remember right off the bat. But
How old was he?
Not
that
he was
old,
like
right?
46, 47.
Okay.
Like he wasn't that old, but he wasn't like super young. But yeah, died. That's a horrible way to go out. Like, just riddled with syphilis. Your brain, dude. Look that up. If you don't know what that is, look up what syphilis does to your brain. And also, use a condom because, yeah, practice safe sex, kids.
Weird PSA from Joe.
Weird PSA, right? Guy who has a kid unexpectedly. Yeah, there was so much just craziness going on in Chicago. Like, Al Capone at his height was banking roughly $1 million a year. That's a 1920s money.
Jesus.
That's like 30 mil a year in today's money. Like, and he was always, it's not like this guy was shy about anything either.
Yeah.
Like, he would constantly walk out of courtrooms just with a cigar in his mouth, like, what are you going to do to me?
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
And there wasn't much you could do to him. I mean, Bugsy and his boy, Bugsy is a whole nother mobster. Bugs Moran and his guys tried to kill him like 4 different times. I mean, this guy was not easily killed. I'll tell you that right now. Like, for a very big target, not easy to hit. But he was by far the most famous mobster. One of my favorite mobsters is actually not Italian anyway. He's a little Jewish guy named Meyer Lansky. This guy, Meyer Lansky, was like, kind of like you in a way.
Nice.
Because, like, he was the numbers guy. He ran numbers. He could tell you how to do all this kind of crazy stuff. And, like, he was a schemer. He was like, hey, guys, look, bootlegging's great. Don't get me wrong. I like bootlegging. But what if we infiltrate the unions and get building contracts and shit like that?
Oh, right.
That's a whole nother level. Like,
Yeah.
That's a whole nother level. So Meyer Lansky was really big into that. He was actually a taller dude, too. I think he was like dang near 6 foot. Lanky guy. Real tall, lanky guy.
Which, in the 20s, 6 foot's pretty tall.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Nowadays, I mean, it's not short. I mean,
No, of
I
course
wouldn't
not.
consider
That's still...
it tall because you're what, 6
I'm
foot,
6'1".
6'1"?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a little bit taller than I am. So, I mean, that's still a little bit taller.
Yeah.
But yeah, numbers guys. Because I was like, don't get me wrong, I love the Tony Akatos, the Joey Batters types.
Yeah, the guys who, like, go hard.
Yeah, but there's just something about a brain that captivates me too.
Right.
Like that guy who would legit, instead of saying, fuck the police, he'd be like, how about we just pay them off and get them in our pockets?
It's reasonable. Yeah.
That's
there's
business deals.
There's only so many good stories you can tell.
Don't know why my Google just went off.
Hey,
that was
no,
weird.
don't search
Stop
the web
listening.
for that. Nobody
Do
asked.
not search the web, Google.
There's only so many stories you can tell that you can basically just boil down to he shot the guy pretty good.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
That's
I'm
cool.
I'm
yeah.
the first guy who's saying that's cool, but like, like numbers, ideas, schemes. That's cooler.
It is.
That's a step towards.
I have to agree with you. Like what they did out in Vegas. Like Vegas was essentially a mob playground through the 50s into the 60s.
Yeah.
It was all just one giant embezzlement scheme if you really stop and think about it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And if you don't know what embezzlement is basically taking drug money and turning it into like legitimate business money through X amount of steps. You want to learn about embezzlement, Google it. Don't Google it too hard though. I think you get on a watch list. I'm not sure. But it was basically a giant money laundering scheme out in Vegas. And Capone used to money laundry too. I think though, I will say this, one of my favorite stories about Al Capone was he invited these guys over for dinner one night. These guys had been ratting to the police about his exploits, so to speak.
Right.
So apparently Capone made a hell of a pasta sauce. All right.
Of course.
He's Italian.
He's
you can't
Italian.
not make pasta sauce, you know? I think
You got to make that old spagoli.
You got to make it. Look, you need to make the good old creepy
I'll
pasta.
make a mean mastacholi.
Right? Yeah, you got to. I mean, please, any Italians out there, we're not making fun of you.
I literally make mastacholi.
He does. Look at him. He's good at that. Mastacholi is wonderful. Italians have a great cuisine overall. But Capone used to make this hella good sauce recipe. God knows there's probably his enemy's blood in it. I don't know. I don't ask questions. So he invites these guys over one night, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna sit down and have a nice little spaghetti with a little bit of wine." And he starts getting his henchmen to talk to him, and they're having a good old time. Al Capone walks over to the corner, grabs a bat, and he said, "Why the fuck would you do this to me?" And whacks dude upside the head with a bat. I'm talking like he is swinging in the 9th inning of the World Series with the bases loaded, Anthony.
Hell yeah.
Like, he just one-shots this
Grab
guy.
that Louisville Slugger.
It probably was a Louisville Slugger. I have a Louisville Slugger. They're great baseball bats, all right? Now, actually, mine is used for baseball-like activities, but they're good.
May or may not require a chain wrapped around it.
Just keep a glove. PSA, keep a baseball glove with your baseball bat in your truck so the cops can't be like, why is there just a bat in here? Never mind the body officer. Just know that I have a glove with the bat.
I use it to mash tomatoes into a paste. That's why it's this color. Tomatoes dry brown. Don't ask questions about it.
Don't ask questions. So I did that. I've actually had... I've been to a few bars in a few areas that have older wise guys to them. Like, look, I don't know if they're affiliated or not, but there was a lot of signs that they were affiliated to some type of group and or whatever. The Mafia is still very alive.
Keep it vague.
We're going to keep it vague because, you know, not going to use any names either because I just don't want to do that because these guys are pretty legit.
I prefer you not use names either.
Anthony knows. Please get him. But I've been in a couple bars and had a few drinks with them. They're decent people. They're funny as hell. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't have much experience with them, but the few I have run into, they're good guys. But like, also, if you get out of pocket, you're probably gonna get shivved in the throat in the parking lot. So I wouldn't imagine getting out of pocket with these types of people.
Bring enough money, don't owe anybody.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. You want to keep your kneecaps? You should probably re-up on your money. All right. Like, that was a legit thing. Kneecapping was real. Like, and they weren't hiding anything about it. They were like, hey man, look, you owe us money. Do you have the money? No? All right, we're gonna break your kneecaps. That's how bold these guys were.
On old Roman chariots, and I think some like Mafia vehicles had it too. Correct me if I'm wrong. They'd have this spike that comes off the fucking wheel.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, and people call those kneecappers because if you drive too close to somebody, you're gonna fucking break their knees with it, which is awesome.
I mean, which is definitely awesome.
It's a great way to not get your horse injured by running a man over.
Right, exactly.
You just run next to the man.
You run next to the man. Actually, there's a lot of mafia myths out there. There's a lot of organized crime myths, like the cement shoes. All right, everyone's like, oh, they put them in cement shoes and threw them in the bottom of the lake.
It's a really cool idea, though.
It's a cool idea, but if you ever actually waited for cement to dry,
that would have taken
you would have to hold this guy for hours completely still while standing up.
I mean, if he was like knocked out first, you sit him in a chair.
Still, it's just...
It's a lot of work.
If you knocked him out for like 8 hours, all right? 8 to 10 hours.
It's a lot of work to kill one guy.
He's dead, dude. He's already killed, all right? No, they would just like tie you up in chains and stuff, and like.
All right, so what about the rumors of was it Wrigley Stadium? One of the Wrigley stadiums, one of the Chicago stadiums. That it was some stadium being built at the time, and there were rumors that like basically the Mafia would like drop bodies off into like the fucking foundation of the building, so that they would be basically built away into the foundation and never be found.
I feel like there is a few Chicago buildings that are like that. No one can
Probably
prove or disprove that, and I'm not going to be the guy to try to prove it. All right?
Well, yeah.
You know, I like my body not full of holes. But there is a lot of dumping sites. Lake Michigan has to be full of bodies. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, there were a lot of mobsters that were like, yeah, I'm going to take a fishing trip tomorrow. You want to come with me? They're not fishing trips. They're getting rid of bodies. All right?
They're dumping trips.
They're dumping trips.
During the 20s, Lake Michigan rose a couple inches. Nobody's sure why.
They did. There's still actually a couple bars up in Chicago you can frequent that Al Capone frequented. Like
right.
the Green Mill. I'm a huge fan of the Green Mill. I've been to Excalibur, the nightclub. And it's not the same as it was in the 20s, but same building. There's actually a couple cool like old speakeasies that were turned into like these spy bars or whatever now, which is super dope. If you've never done that, look it up, do it. I've done it a few times in Chicago. It's absolutely wonderful. But like the Mafia, the mob, whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to use those general terms. That's not really American. That came over from
the Casablanca.
The Casablanca. Watch out for the Casablanca. The White House wants you dead. The White House might want me dead. I'm not completely sure at this point.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Hey, what is that? Is that a black truck outside? Anthony, I need to go. You called, didn't you? You son of a bitch.
Let's just say I'm close personal friends with the FBI.
He wanted to do this because he needed information out of me.
They told me if I narc on Joe, they'll forget about my internet history. And that's something I can't look at lightly.
That's the thing. The mob isn't essentially American, though. The only actual crime syndicate to come out of America is biker gangs. Biker gangs.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think the core four is the Angels, the Outlaws, the Pagans, and the Mongols. And the only ones we have here in Northern Illinois, the big clubs are the Outlaws and the Angels. I'm going to go on record right now to say I know a few bikers. They're not anything like what the media portrays them as. Like, I grew up with a couple of bikers, and they're decent guys. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't piss them off because, they'll quote-unquote put you in cement shoes. Wow. But they're pretty good. Like, and the crazy thing about biker culture is, Anthony, when you think biker culture, what do you think? What are the first few things that come to mind?
Leather coats and Harleys.
All right, I didn't ask about your fantasy. I asked what comes to mind when you're talking about biker clubs.
What? I don't know. Hideouts and probably like billiards and stuff like that. I mean, sure. Alcohol.
You're not wrong.
Bars.
All right.
Sleazy
biker
bars
are. You leave Stanley's out of this. All right, that's my bar,
and
that will always have my heart.
Stanley's is definitely high up there, but I didn't think of Stanley's as a biker bar.
It's not really a biker bar.
But my parents took me to biker bars a lot when I was a baby. My parents
that explains everything.
My parents were both very much bikers. I don't know about being in any gangs or anything
syndicate,
like that.
Yes,
right. I don't know.
I was
never going to ask questions about that. It's not a big deal to me anyway. But yeah, I mean, as in my childhood, I was in lots of biker bars. I learned to walk on those dirty, dusty floors. Probably.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your parents were bikers. How the hell did you turn into a weeb?
Neglect.
That hit me way too hard one time. And I was like, bing, ow, I like anime.
No, I love my parents. They always let me do whatever it was that I wanted to do.
They really fucking dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, that was their mistake. No, they never tried to force me. Like, they never did that thing you hear about bad parents doing where it's like, he's gonna like the things I like, you know. It's not the type of thing where like they sat me down and made me watch the movies they like and made me do the activities they liked.
My kid is going to see the movie. My kid is going to see the movies I love. Now,
sure.
I'm not going to make him do the activities.
I mean, you're not going to strap him down Clockwork Orange style.
No, God, no.
But like my parents,
not until he's like 14.
I mean, my parents, like my dad, had me try out for baseball. I played a little bit of baseball. It wasn't for me. It wasn't a big deal to them. They didn't mind. I played a little bit of guitar. It was like my dad's thing. He really wanted to learn guitar. It didn't really work out for me. I actually want to play piano, but the story about that is I used to have, this is when I was like a little kid. I had an instructor who was like kind of hot. So it didn't bother me to go learn piano, right?
Okay.
It wasn't a big deal. Then she went away to college in another state. So I got a lady who smelled like cat piss. And guess who didn't want to learn piano anymore? And then guitar I learned from a guy, and he was a nice enough guy. I was at that age where I suddenly just didn't want to do that shit anymore.
So you discovered porn.
Yeah.
All right.
I was an edgy teen at that point. I didn't want to do that shit anymore.
Oh God, what was teenage Anthony like?
You know what? Not edgy, but just very like reserved. I didn't really talk to a lot of people outside my friend group.
We were completely different people.
Right. I'm confident of that. That is probably definitely true. I mean, yeah, more or less just getting more involved in the internet, computers, video games, you know, putting stuff together like that. But not like edgy. I didn't show up to school in all black. I don't think the other students were like, watch out for Anthony, don't come to school tomorrow. Like nobody.
Why did the quiet kid just whisper to me not to come to school tomorrow?
You're cool, don't come to school tomorrow. Like, no, I wasn't like that. I didn't wear like a trench coat. My friend did. That probably wasn't a good look. He was, I would say he was probably charismatic enough to get away with it because enough people knew him. But yeah, I wore like a fucking ratty old hoodie.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I think we all had it because I mean, I used to wear sweats and hoodies all the time, you know,
Yeah.
but I was also into sports and shit. But, yeah, I was completely different in high school. I mean, I wasn't like an asshole popular kid, but a lot of people knew me in high school. And like, I was that guy that like, I could sit with the wrestlers and the football players and discuss sports and shit with them.
Sure.
But also like, I would go over and pester like the little loner kids over there playing Magic the Gathering. Like, hey, how you play that shit? Let me, show me a little bit, you know? Like, because I was always genuinely curious about other people. Yeah, I was going to make fun of them the whole time, like I do you, but
right,
like,
true.
It's out of friendliness. Like, we're friends because I'm making fun of you. That's how I show love. I gently bully people.
Right. Well, the problem is like Joe began bullying me and then wasn't prepared for me to bully back. And now we're friends.
It caught me off guard in the best way possible. And like, now we're friends. Like, only the strong survive with me. And also, only the strong survive in biker gangs as well. Sorry, biker syndicates.
Good
don't call them
segue.
gangs. Oh, you like that, huh?
Can I ride a Segway in a biker gang? What if I'm just really hard, but I have a Segway?
Speaking of weebs in Japanese culture, I feel like in Japan, there's no real biker gangs. But if there was a biker gang, it would be like a bunch of guys on like mopeds or scooters.
I should show you. I don't know why my brain went to this. It kind of makes sense. I should show you. It was one of the first big anime influencers in the West here, in the U.S. It's called Akira. It's an anime movie, and it's about, the fuck is it about? It kind of opens with a bike gang. They're like teens though, but whatever. And it's about like,
I got cringy fast.
It's about like fucking like genetic mutation and shit like that. Yeah, I see your face change. It's not that. It's not that cringy. There's like psychic powers and fucking like kids exploding.
I mean, like that kind of sounds like something I might watch.
There's a part of me that wonders if you would be interested in parts of it.
In parts, like you didn't say the whole thing. You were like in parts of it.
Because
give me the breakdown.
It takes place in like a post-apocalyptic. It might not be post-apocalyptic, but it's definitely like a rundown, shitty dystopian city.
So Detroit.
I can't remember if it was called. Is it called Tokyo 2
Maybe
or is
Rockford.
that Tokyo 2 is
like
totally
Rockford.
something else. I don't remember what it was in
I did see
Akira.
that one movie with the cars in Tokyo Drift. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's not Akira.
Oh. Well, yeah, we're talking about the different movies.
Akira, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know that my friend had one of those types of dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, the Akita.
Akita. Yes, Akita. Yeah, Akitas are cool.
They're an adorable little dog.
Yeah, there are a lot of breeds of dogs.
They're really angry, though.
From Japan that are just named from the areas they're found in.
Weird.
Yeah, like Akita, I think, is like a place in Japan. And the dog's just named after it. Shiba Inus are from like the Shiba like prefecture. What are they called? This is a weird tangent. They have this really fucking big dog, and I can't remember what it's called, but they were used for fighting back in the day. They were fucking.
They're just bears.
Basically, they're huge.
I love how you got me off. Like, it's not. Oh, that sounded horrible. I love how you can get me off tangents so quickly. Like, it takes me forever to actually get you to do it. But you mentioned one thing, and it just goes down a whole nother fucking.
They're called Tosas.
Oh God, they are big.
Yeah, look at that big motherfucker.
That is a big dog. They're really skinny though. Crossbreed them with like Rottweilers, and you got a
get yourself like a beefy dog. Yeah.
Like. Anyway, so Biker Kings. All right, Anthony did it to me. I've been doing it to him for weeks now. This is his vengeance episode, essentially.
Hold on. Yeah, look at that.
What is that thing? Oh, is that one of the Tokugawas?
Tosa? Yeah.
Yeah, Tokugawa.
Look, he's got some fucking like war armor on.
I'm not gonna lie, that's badass. Like, I need one.
He's got that fucking like rope necklace thing that you see in like traditional Japanese art. He's fucking awesome.
Now you put it around his head, and that's some Muay Thai level shit, and Muay Thai's the shit. Like, that's another episode. I can do a whole nother episode about real martial arts, not karate, because karate sucks. All right. So
I can't say
that doesn't. Those are what are those? Those are
sumo wrestlers.
Sumo wrestlers. Why did I say shampoo wrestlers? Well, Jesus, that's a whole nother. Don't Google shampoo wrestlers. Oh,
I don't think I will.
Adorable. Stop getting me off tangent. All right.
I just wanted to look at these big old dogs.
Is this what you have to deal with on a week-to-week basis?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like
you mean your tangents?
Like my tangents.
I take it a little better than you do. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're definitely a lot more inept because I just fall for it. I'm like, yeah, let's go with it.
Yeah, keeping this train running is difficult, but I'm up to the task.
I am not so much up to the task.
You're not an amazing conductor here.
No. Oh no, that train has gone off the rails about 20 minutes ago.
You were talking about biker gangs. You're talking about
actually biker gangs are really organized. Like you usually think like anarchy, chaos, drugs, sex.
Yeah, anarchy's kind of their symbol, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. But like they're super organized. Like everything has a rank and file. Like all the way down to like you start out is what they call a hang around.
Level 1 thug.
Level 1 thug. Yes, in your video games, you would be a level 1 thug.
Boss.
I mean, God damn it, there's no level 99 boss. There's not levels to this, Anthony.
I'm referring to like a shit post advertisement.
I know. I feel like you are. God, I hate that. Like, stop. I'm not playing your stupid game. I'm not doing that. They're going to be like, oh, you want to level up? Give us money. All right.
Yeah, I don't really play those. Let's keep going.
I don't.
Anyway.
So
yeah, they're organized.
They're organized. You start out as what they call a hang around. You know, some guy that they kind of let hang around. You know, you bring beer every once in a while.
Yeah, like Star Trek. Oh wait, no, those are Klingons.
No, that was my ex-girlfriend. She was a stage 5 clinger. Be here all week. And if they like you as a hang around, they'll invite you in. Like, now you get to be a prospect. That is the shittiest rank you'll ever get, is prospect.
Oh, yeah, because that's where you're now committed.
You are now committed to the group and pretty much have to do anything they ask you to.
Nice.
If you're sleeping, you're like, man, I got to be work at 7 a.m. And it's, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're like, we ran out of beer. You need to get us beer. You have to get up and get them beer.
I mean, that doesn't sound as bad as I was expecting.
Oh, no, it gets real bad, but...
Yeah, tell me.
Not anywhere... let me guess. One time, I've heard a couple stories, like, they made a prospect, like after a long run, they made a prospect chug like 3-day-old hot beer out of a boot that like was fresh off of a biker.
Nice.
Like that.
That's some amazing shit.
And that's loyalty right there. The prospecting period can last anywhere from 6 months to several years, depending on how much they hate you and how much you have to, earn your stripes, so to speak.
If you're not charismatic, don't get past the Klingon stage.
Yeah, you're not going to get past the Klingon stage if you're not charismatic, I'm just saying. And they're just going to abuse you until you quit. All right? Kind of like what we do at work. Like, you're not going to be one of the group.
Not untrue. You either get abused until you quit or you go to a different hospital.
We are kind of like a biker gang. So once you prospect, you become a full patched member. And what full patched is you get the symbol on your back of the biker club.
Okay.
Like the Hells Angels, they have the Death Skull.
Yeah.
And then you get like your top rocker, which is the one that goes over your shoulders. That is like the Hells Angels or the Outlaws. That's their name. And then the one underneath the symbol is the state, town, or city that they're from.
Oh, okay.
That they're claiming, like Illinois or Chicago, DeKalb, whatever they're claiming. Their territory, so to speak. And even through that, you have members, like you have the head is a president, then you have the vice president, you have the treasurer, the sergeant at arms, and I think there's one more rank that I can't think of right now. But they're highly...
They got like a fucking war admiral? Sergeant at arms?
War admiral? No, but if they had boats, that'd be dope. I'd be a war admiral. Like,
yeah,
this is my pond.
The Hells Angels biker boat.
Biker boat? I'm just sitting there like in the little pond right next to the cancer center, like on this little raft. And I'm like, this is my boat now. This is my pond. I earned this. Jim's just like, hey, Joe, come back inside. It's a little chilly out here. Can you just... I need you to do paperwork. I'm like,
imagine
no.
They get like a aircraft carrier, but the deck is just all their bikes. Not like they can do anything with them.
Okay.
They're on the sea.
Okay,
but...
so I'm gonna totally like provoke you, and I know this is not gonna end well. But okay, if you say you're starting a biker gang, okay?
Sure.
What is your symbol? What is your colors? And what is your name?
Oh.
Don't give this deep thought. Don't just let it fly. I see you stroking your beard. Like, yes, I'm actually gonna think about this. For once I'm asking you not to think about this.
So look,
fire it off at
listen to me here. I was thinking clovers, but clovers is a little too fruity sounding, so you gotta spice it up.
You gotta spice it up.
They're the fucking like
death clover.
The shit post clovers.
Shit post clovers.
Our symbol is just a 4-leaf clover. Our colors are green and white and yellow.
Okay. God, that's a horrible color combination. That's an ugly ass fucking rocker, bro.
And my inspiration is I got this book.
What is this? You can't just...
This is called Yosuba. Yosuba is a story...
Why did you have to weeb this up? Like, you went so fast into the weeb, like, end of the pool.
Look, all my homies out there who know about Yosuba, they're going to be
joining
joining
all 2 people that I've
They're
going
to be joining the shitposting clovers, all right?
They're going to be joining the shitposting clovers. God, I should have never asked you that.
Yeah, that was your fault.
Yeah, that was completely my fault. I expected... No, you know what? I expected something along those lines. So
True.
I came out in the end.
I don't know. What's the most badass thing I can think of? I mean, something like... No, that wouldn't sound good. Something like Seraphim, because Seraphim's a fucking badass word.
What the hell is a Seraphim?
Seraphim is like the highest order of angel. So like when we're talking about like Judeo-Christian angels, Seraphim is like the top dog. What?
I thought that was the archangels.
No, archangels are actually pretty low tier compared to Seraphim.
Wow.
Yeah, Seraphim is like I think like Seraphim is like a fucking pristine order. They're like the head of the angels.
That's dope.
And Seraphim I think translates to like burning or something. Yeah.
If it translates to Burning Man, I'm leaving right now.
It's not Burning Man. If you ever look up actual tiers of like angels in like Judeo-Christian mythology. I'm calling it mythology. Fuck off. They're pretty sick. I mean, and especially because like when you think of angels, you think of like pretty women in white robes and little halos above their head, right? Dude, angels, like real angels, are like some fucking Lovecraft shit. Like they have some like their forms cannot be understood by man shit. They are like intense looking. Now I need to look it up.
Okay, so like we could start our own thing. Like instead of the Hell's Angels, we could be like the Lord's Devils, right?
The Lord's Dead? No,
the Lord's Devils.
It's close. It's close, but I mean, why would the Lord have devils?
I mean,
so I was gonna say Steel Seraphim, but I think Steel Seraphim is actually from something. I would just be stealing it from some other media.
Iron Seraphim. I mean, you have the Iron Riders, like
right.
You also have the Black Pistons. That's an all-black biker club, actually. I know those guys from the bar that I used to bounce at. They're actually pretty fucking cool guys. You do have a really cool name. Like, I mean, obviously you have the Outlaws, you have the Hells Angels. But, like, you have the Highwaymen. That's dope. The Sons of Silence. Yeah.
Jesus, I like that one.
Those guys are hardcore they're fucking hardcore. I mean, that's dope, though. It almost sounds like one of your anime games, like Tekken 5, The Sons of Silence. Like,
nice, yeah.
Yeah, you see what I did there?
One of the Metal Gear Solid games was Sons of Liberty.
See?
Yeah.
We could be the Sons of Liberty. And it's just like the Statue of Liberty holding like an RPG with a bandana, Rambo style tied around her head. Look, we can do sick. This. We don't have motorcycles, but like, I got a Honda Civic. Like,
go pick the boys up from the game. Okay, so I looked up angels, but it's given me this massive list of like every fucking angel. I wanted the different types, but there's types. Power is its own type. They're literally just called powers. There's also dominions. That's a whole fucking type.
I feel like you're just gonna go on another Pokemon rant.
Close.
Wait, are angels the original Pokemon?
You gotta collect them all.
Exactly. Gotta collect them all, right?
Is Satan has enticed you into believing you want to collect all the sins. He was like, oh yeah, there's the 10 commandments. So you're supposed to knock all those suckers out. You're supposed to have all of them. No, the truth is, you want to keep committing good deeds so you can go to heaven and get all those sweet angels.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the women in white dresses. I'm talking about the weird fucking tentacle creatures.
I mean, that would kind of be cool. Like, who's the guy that wrote Cthulhu? What's his name? Lovecraft. Like a Lovecraft biker.
Seraphim, I think, also is sometimes just called Seraph. But, I mean, it's the same idea.
Whatever. It's the same idea. Long story short, you would be called the Seraphim Riders. There you go. That sounds dope. The Seraphim Riders. Right? I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Put that, like... You do a little...
I'm down with that.
Like an angel with a flaming sword for your logo or some shit like that.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, that'd be dope. I'd totally do that. If our security team was a biker gang, what would you call it?
Yeah. Dude, this right here, that's an angel.
Okay, no, that's just two rings with a bunch of eyes, Anthony.
Yeah, that's a fucking angel.
That's weird.
It's in the Bible. Look it up.
I'm just saying, I feel like back in the day, they did a whole lot of things that were like LSD on steroids to come up with that type of shit.
Yeah, when you're bored, like, religious nobleman in the fucking, like, 200s.
Hey, man, you want to eat this plant and just trip balls and be like, it's God?
You do some wacky shit.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I would.
I am down.
Still. You won't see God today, boys? Anyway.
Okay, I'm done looking for angels. Sorry. Tangent over.
I don't want to say this because it's just gonna balloon out of proportion.
It's gonna spark more.
Just gonna spark more. But if the security team at our hospital was a biker gang, what would that biker gang be called?
The layabouts. The worthless bunch.
The stepchildren.
The stepchildren. The wooden podiums.
The wooden podium.
And our podium just falls into pieces.
The non-responders.
The non-responders. Nice.
Oh, I think that would be fun. It's like we can We should get our own logos and put it on the back of our uniforms.
Oh, you guys can't wear that. The fuck we can't.
We can't. Look, we started our own shit now, all right? This is our own security company / biker gang. I get to be president. I'm calling that right now.
I don't think anyone elected you.
That doesn't matter, all right? I call dibs. Dibs on president works, Anthony, all right? You don't know how dibs works? I called it first. I get to be president.
Okay.
You guys should join our biker gang. The layabouts.
The layabouts.
The doesn't matters. There's a reason why they put us in the basement. That's where our headquarters is. Our clubhouse is literally just a closet.
It's a closet in the basement.
Instead of like running drugs and stuff, like we're just trying to like get better coffee for the cafeteria. Like we're selling people better coffee. Like, hey man,
like please, there's a doctor's lounge. I know you guys can supply us with some chips. We're here all day.
You're just stealing stuff from the bikers or from the doctor's lounge and trying to sell it to the kitchen. Anarchy. Joe, what are you doing with that sandwich? None of your business. Woo! Layabouts ride.
Biker gang or not, I'm not gonna fuck with the doctors. The nurses, sure, they're not gonna do anything about it.
I'm not gonna mess with the doctors.
Well,
there's a couple of doctors that look like they're real close to the edge in that hospital, so let's not push them.
Well, Joe, I've tangented you off of. We were talking about tiers and orders in biker gangs, right? So where are we headed with that? Talking about the president and the head, the head or whatever.
Yeah, I do have a little story. Me and a friend went down to Key West, Florida.
Am I going to regret the story?
No,
or?
It's a wonderful story. You're going to listen to my story whether you want to or not, Anthony.
Okay.
It's a good story. It's wonderful. It's not as bad as you think it's going to be. I have those stories too. We went down to Key West, Florida, and like we were asking some of the locals, what do you go for food? What do you do with this? They were like, all the bars are cool. Stay away from the Brass Monkey. Automatically, you have to go to the Brass Monkey.
Yeah, what the fuck? You can't just tell me there's a bar called the Brass Monkey and expect me not to go.
Not to stay away from it.
That's like telling someone who's like visiting the Amazon forest, like, oh yeah, just make sure to stay on the trails. Never go looking for the Jade Monkey. You're just like, I have to look for the fucking Jade Monkey.
The Jade Monkey now, like
they enticed you to go, dude. They could have just not mentioned the Brass Monkey.
You could have not mentioned it at all. So now I need to go. Like my friend, who's a powerlifting buddy of mine, he was like, all right, yeah, I don't know if I want to go, man. They say it's a biker bar. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're coming with me. So we walk in there, and it is a very biker club. Like, there's a whole bunch of guys called the Warlocks down there, right? That sounds kind of like something you're.
That's kind of lame.
It's lame, but the Warlocks are pretty. They're
No, you know what? Let me dial it back before someone gets mad at me.
Right.
It's not lame.
That's right. There's none of them up here. But the Warlocks come in. I walk way up to the bar. Kind of head nodding to everybody. I looked at the bar, and I noticed the guy sitting a couple stools down from me had the Warlock and the President patch because they all wear like rank patches.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And I was like, yeah, let me get me a beer. What are you drinking, big dog? He looked at me. He's like, I like kamikazes. So I was like, let me get a beer and 2 kamikazes. So I ordered the beer, walked up to him. I sat down the 2 kamikazes. I looked at him. I was like, hey, my name's Joe. I'm not from around here. I'm from Chicago, just trying to get the lay of the land, maybe make a couple friends while I'm out here. He looks me dead in the eyes, takes the shots without, like, looking away from me. He said, hi, Joe, I'm Big Rick, and, like, shook my hand with this, like, mammoth bear-sized paw.
Nice.
And, like, we ended up hanging out with him the whole night. He was like,
well, yeah.
Like, they were super cool. Like, we played billiards. I did a rail off a hooker's tit. I mean, what? No, I would never do that. No. But, like, we played billiards. There were strippers involved. But, like, it wasn't anything crazy-ish.
Well, you're alive.
I mean, I'm alive. I woke up on a beach. Like,
my blood level might be slightly more cocaine than it was before.
long story short, they're like really cool guys, and like we ended up. I don't know. The night was kind of a blur, but like yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like I'm not saying approach a biker bar.
We're still not saying go to the Brass Monkey. I'm just saying if you're in the area and you hear about a Brass Monkey,
you have to know how to approach it. It's like bikers are like animals. Know how to approach it, and they won't bite you.
Keep your palm upturned to let them sniff you first.
You gotta smell. But yeah, like I said, I grew up knowing a lot of bikers and affiliated bikers with some chapters, and they were pretty decent dudes. Yeah, by societal standards.
They might commit a few more crimes than an average person.
Come on, who's not committing crimes nowadays?
It's a hot new thing to do.
It is the hot new thing to do, which kind of is funny because they're less. You would think that this would never happen, but they're a lot less about like doing hits and gun running nowadays.
Sure,
a lot of them have moved into white collar crime, like identity theft and shit like that. Right?
I mean, it's the age of the internet.
It is the age of the internet, but you would think this giant fucking biker dude's like typing away on a computer, like, yeah,
there's like
fuck you, Johnny. Like, your credit card's my credit card now. Like, what are you typing?
A meme.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you trying to identify? What are you running right now?
No, it's a meme.
Oh God, no! What?
It's a meme where like this nerdy kid is like asking a question on the internet.
Oh God, yeah.
Like I tried talking to this girl, but she didn't seem interested. And then it's just a bunch of pictures of buff dudes like, "Don't worry about it, King. You'll get him next time." We're talking wholesome memes here. We're talking like perfectly pure, lovable content.
Well, I mean that's usually what
power
I post
lifters.
About, like
just like, no, it's cool, kid. You'll get him next. King, man, you're gonna get it next time, dude. That's the kind of shit that we look for.
Is that what you think it is? Like you walk into a gym and everybody's gonna be like, "Yeah, welcome to the gym, Anthony."
Well, if it's a good gym, not like some shitty gym that gets shut down.
Hey, asshole. That was very uncalled for, Weeb.
I'm just saying, if more Weebs walked into your gym and you were like, "Hey, King, come on over. We're going to get you started."
All right, look here. All I'm saying is this. Biker gangs and mixed martial artists both get a horrible rap. Everyone thinks we're some, like, tattooed, barbaric thugs. And that's not it at all.
I was going to say, those things were true.
I mean, look here. We're not thugs outside the ring. Yeah, of course we're gonna fucking damage you inside the ring. Like,
sure.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna fucking kick your ACL until I tear it. But we're actually good. We're good people. Most of us are college educated. I've got 3 guys that used to fight with me that are now lawyers. Like, now I'm just a lowly peon security guard, and also biker gangster with the layarounds. But I'm not
you're still like a level 10 thug.
I'm like a level 10 thug. I could never get up there. I can't get past the paywall.
Yeah, never make it to 99 boss.
Damn it, never. Yeah, they get a bad rap. They do drink a lot though. These guys, like, I can hold a good amount of liquor. These guys drank me under the table. Like,
it's a weird place to do your drinking.
I was scared.
They scared me under the table. They just started drinking there. So I wasn't going to not bring my beer.
No, it was actually funny because at this time I was like heavy into my fighting days. And I told him, I fight MMA and stuff. And I was like, I bet you, I walked up to a guy, it was a biker about your size. I was like, I bet you I can make you tap out just by grabbing your wrist the right way. He was like, bullshit. So I walked up and I wrist locked him.
Right.
And if you've ever been in a wrist lock, like, it hurts. He's like, oh, God, all right, I'm done. And, like, he was like, oh, you big into that, like, ninja shit, right? And I was like, I'm going to let this slide because there's, like, 7 of you, and I'm not winning that fight, all right? I was like, yeah, I'm into that ninja shit. He was like, all right, kick this bottle out of my hand. And, like, he's got this half-drinking beer, and he's drunk as piss, so it's not level. It's, like, up and down type thing. And I was like, dude, if I fuck this up, I'm going to kick this biker in the face. So I was like, all right, look, I can do it. Just sit it on the table. He's like, no, bitch, kick it out my hand. And I was like, fuck. My friend's looking at me. He's like, don't do it. I'm like, I won't do it. I'm going to do it. So I ended up, I don't know how I did this. By the grace of the universe, my friend.
Someone out there was listening and was like, nah, it's not Joe's time.
It's not Joe's time.
He deserves it. Don't get me wrong.
So I kicked this thing out of his hand. He was like, holy shit, that was cool. Like, all right, punch this one. I was like, no, I'm not breaking my fucking hand, bro. Like, he's got a Jack Daniels bottle, and he's like, you should punch this one. And I was like, have you ever had a real Jack Daniels bottle? Like, you ever felt the weight behind one of those things? Like, yeah, I'm not punching a Jack Daniels bottle. But it was super cool. Like, I showed him, I broke because I don't have any feelings in my shins. I'm pretty sure I've showed you that a couple times. If I haven't, I'll show you tomorrow at work.
Oh.
I have no feeling in my shins from fighting all these years. And he was like, hey, you should kick that. Like, it was an old school bar, like, stool.
Right.
So I walked up and I kicked it like 2 or 3 times. I ended up breaking one of the legs. He was like, oh, that's cool as shit, bro. Like, let me try. And he kicked the steel one, drunk as piss. Now, I'm going to give this dude credit. He kicked that fucking thing across the room. He's like, that didn't fucking work. How'd you break yours? I was like, all right, dude, look, it was some flimsy ass fucking wood. You just kicked a steel stool, bro. Like, he was like, I like you, man. You seem like a real cool dude. And like,
and that was his mistake.
That was his mistake. But I think they introduced me to like some kind of, I think it was like a Cuban sandwich. These guys just ate Cuban sandwiches for no reason.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like, it was like a Cubano sandwich or some shit. They loved it down there. I mean, you're 90 miles from Cuba, you know? Yeah, I said Cuba. I like saying it like that.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
And I was like, hang on. So I'm drunk as shit with these guys, right? And I was like, you mind if I borrow one of your prospects? He's like, what for? And I was like, okay, don't get angry with me. But I was like, I need him to run to the store. So I whip out this fucking piece of paper and pen, and I hit
my mic, you son of a bitch.
God damn it. So I whip out this piece of paper and pen, and I gave him instructions. He runs the store. I made everybody Chicago-style hot dogs.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they were like, this is amazing, bro, but you don't put ketchup on it?
No.
I was like, no, you don't need ketchup. Like, ketchup is like the devil squirts, bro. You don't need that shit. Yeah. It's horrible. It's just sugar.
It goes against the Chicago code.
Yeah, exactly. And like we got to talking about all that shit, and like they were actually really cool dudes.
Some fucking like sports peppers.
Dude, I think I like the spicy sport peppers.
Hell yeah.
But like I also like the non-spicy sport
peppers. I'm not. If you don't want spicy, that's just that's a flavor thing.
Yeah, that's a flavor thing. It's as long as you have the peppers on there. Like,
but I like sports peppers.
I'm with you. I like the sports peppers. I hate people that are like, I'm eating a Chicago dog, but I don't want the pickle on it, and keep the relish off of it.
Just eat that thing the way they serve it to you. There's a reason they made it that way.
I know you don't go to Chicago a lot.
Not really.
But these people kind of remind me of boxers, or kind of remind me of bikers.
One of the two, I don't know.
We had been up at a venue in Chicago. We were doing fights that night. The fights ended up wrapping up around 11:30. We were like, before we go back to the hotel, you guys want to get something to eat? And they were like, yeah, let's get something cheap, something real fast, real cheap, so we can just go to bed type thing, or go back to the after party. I mean, go to bed, because I'm a good Christian boy, and I don't party much. So we ended up stopping into this hot dog joint called the Wiener Circle.
Nice.
If you're familiar
I've
with
heard
this
of the Wiener
place,
Circle,
okay?
yeah.
So after 11 o'clock at night, they can say whatever the fuck they want to say to you. Okay, that might be a 24-hour thing, but back in 2008, that was just, you could only do it past 11. So it's like 12, midnight. They're open till like 4 in the morning. Like, it's midnight, 1 o'clock when we stroll in there. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, what the fuck you want, white boy? I was like, the fuck you just say to me? She's like, hey, you gonna hurry up and order? You just gonna stand there and look like a dumbass all day?
And Joe's used to being called a dumbass, but not usually in a restaurant.
I mean, these guys are like harassing me fucking, because I walked in with like 3 of my black friends, and they were like, well, if it isn't Casper in the fucking darkness. Now that's funny. That is grade A funny right there. Like, I didn't know they could talk to you, but they could talk to you like that. But I think that's cool as shit. I would totally work at a restaurant like that. And I would totally be like, if you walked into my restaurant, I'd be like, all right, neckbeard, what the fuck do you want?
I feel like at some point, Joe, they'd sit you down like, Joe, all right, you're allowed to be mean to the customers, but there's some
You've
words...
assaulted 4 people this week.
There are words people haven't heard in literally centuries, and we don't know where you found them, but they're definitely insults.
They might be a little bit racist. I mean, like, I can't tell you if they are or not, but I feel like the way you're using them might be.
I also don't have to tell you if they are or not. You know, Joe.
You know, Joe. Like, but nevertheless, bikers are misunderstood people. I don't have much more that I'm going to rant on
No,
tonight.
that's fine. I think we're getting to a good point where we can start wrapping up.
Yeah, I'm always down. Like, I have multiple stories. Some of them I don't want to share on here because the cases are still open. But that's not what I'm trying to get
7
at.
years, right? After 7
years.
you can tell them.
Something like that. 7 years. So, like, check back on me in a couple years. I'll be more than happy to spill
We'll
the
find
detail.
out later.
But all in all, mobsters are cool. Bikers get a bad rap. Yeah, it was fun doing this. I didn't take any notes, and a lot of my information is probably not like 100% accurate, but fuck you.
No one ever expected it to be.
No one, if you did, you've come to the wrong goddamn podcast. I'll tell you that right now.
That's true.
Like,
when we opened with this is a Joe episode, you knew what you were getting into.
What did you learn today, Anthony?
Cement shoes are not a thing. There's
You didn't fucking
there's
pay attention.
Klingons and there's prospectors in biker gangs.
All right, fair enough.
We got let's see, the Chicago type dog, hot dog.
No.
With the sports peppers. And the New York filing board. The Florida fork tongue. I don't remember the rest.
That sounds like a horrible football team. Like, welcome to the Florida Four Tongues.
Capone was Scarface, but not the same Scarface from the movie.
No, definitely not the same Scarface.
I should probably go watch that movie again.
Pablo Noriega. That's who that guy was based off of.
Bless you. Do they use ice picks? I know you didn't bring it up. I was just asking.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Ice pick is a great shiv.
Well, yeah.
And, like,
I mean,
it's
you got a
easy
lot
to
of
conceal.
leverage.
Like, it's got a good gripping handle, you know, because you're picking ice with the damn thing. You got to have a good gripping handle. But yeah, it was easier to conceal than a knife. Like, it's not like a full-blown knife, so you're going to be like, oh, he had a knife. You fucking murdered this guy. Knives have, like, certain striations and stuff on it. So, like, when you stab a guy, like, if it's got serrated teeth, it's going to leave, like, a serration mark.
Yes, yeah.
So they can match that up with a knife or whatever. An ice pick is just literally that. It is an ice pick. There's no fancy stuff on it. It's a tip. Like, it's
engravings.
You're going to get the tip. Just the tip.
Engravings do nothing for the web.
Engravings.
I'm doing the wrong bit. I sent it to you over text. You probably didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it, and I hate you. And I hate you because you ruined one good thing for me. But that's
and then you told me that Capone was a bouncer. He frequented his own brothels. Died from syphilis.
Watch out for the syphil discs.
The syphil discs.
That's how my computer got a virus. It got syphil discs. Wait, discs. Oh no, I did see that earlier, and I hate you because no, it's not gonna do anything to the gun. Just because you engrave the gun doesn't mean it's gonna shoot harder, Anthony.
But it looks good.
I mean, it does look good. Don't get me wrong. I may or may not have custom grips for a gun I want, but that's not what I'm trying to get at.
There's a whole scene before that bit. I'm talking about Metal Gear Solid 5, by the way.
Yeah, he's
and one of his recruits is like fancy firing from the hip, and,
which is horribly inaccurate. Don't ever do that.
And he comes up to him and he's like, "Oh, some fancy firing you got there," and he's like basically telling him like, but that's it's not a revolver. You don't have to counteract for the recoil. He's telling him shit like that. And he takes his gun and he's like, engravings give no tactical
You
advantage
definitely have
whatsoever.
to account for the goddamn recoil on a revolver.
Well, he didn't have a revolver. That's what he's telling him. He's saying it's not a revolver. You don't have to account for the recoil. This guy would know. He's Revolver Ocelot. And I love that he's telling this guy off for having this like fancy fire in and his engraved gun. Then he walks past Big Boss, the guy who walks around in a customized cardboard box. That's just something I noticed from that scene. Nobody's gonna get my reference. There.
No one is gonna get that reference at all. Like, but for the record,
But that's okay.
I cite Tombstone, the movie. I cite that pretty much, and everyone's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is how you get hit in the parking lot."
I've never seen that movie.
Never seen Tombstone.
I don't think I've even heard of that movie. Is it like the pizza? Is it about the pizza?
No.
When are we gonna get a Red Baron movie? When are we gonna get Old Tony's?
Old Tony's sounds like a mob movie.
Old Tony's.
Like, hey, that'd be a good premise. Like a mobster opens up a pizza joint and like money launders through the pizza joint.
Yeah.
But then he's like, "Oh man, my real passion isn't hurting people.
Pizza.
It's pizza." And like, he goes straight, but like
that's my mafia. That's me as a mafioso.
He can't get out of the life, and it's like a history of violence type thing. Like,
I keep a killing, but I keep wanting to make the pizza.
The sauce is only good with blood. The blood of my enemies in it.
He just wants to make the sauce, but he keeps hitting the sauce. And by that I mean alcohol. I
don't watch that movie.
What the fuck are we even talking about? We're idiots, and we're just talking about.
We're trying to wrap it up,
shit.
but then we started randomly.
It never wraps up. It never wraps up. So yeah, sorry about the delays in the last couple episodes. Things happen, you know.
Yeah, we have lives, people.
We almost didn't
that aren't
do this
centered
one.
around you.
We almost didn't do this one because there's a terrible storm here in DeKalb, and my power went out for a minute. But we're good. Clearly, we're good.
I mean, I'm not dead. You're not dead. The power's still on.
SoundCloud doesn't seem like it's going to be the platform I continue to use because they want money.
They do.
And my goal was not to spend money on this podcast.
I also want money, but
I mean, unless this podcast starts doing well and I can make money off of it, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So for now, probably jump into YouTube. That's probably where you're listening to this video. But I am looking into doing other podcast sources. I kind of asked some people to let me know what they think. But if you have any advice, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Otherwise, you can still always find Joe and I on our Facebooks and my Twitter and shit like that. So, yeah, we'll see what the future of this podcast is like. I mean, we may even have some other types of videos if Joe and I decide to find a day.
Whoa, where are you going with that, guy?
Some sexy boys in the backyard.
I mean, I've already got the thong on.
No,
so.
I'm just talking about.
Wait, what?
We might play some video games.
Video games.
We might finally watch Joe build his Pokemon team and become the master. Or maybe we'll play L.A. Noir because we were just talking about some noir stuff. Awesome. That'd be kind of sick.
I would write my own noir.
I'm sure it'll be great.
It will be great.
Not filled with like real events that'll, get you incriminated.
It's fictional, Anthony.
It's all fictional. That's what he said.
Fictional. Yeah.
He led the book with not meant to be related to any real persons living or dead.
Exactly, living or dead.
Doesn't really make it non-fictional.
But you might be both of them if you don't shut up about it, Anthony. What?
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.